Hello and welcome to our AFT Fathom 13 Quick Start video tutorial series, Video 5. In this video, we are going to discuss how to use the Graph Results window to make helpful graphs from the model results. If you have not already, run the model to obtain results by clicking the Run Model button on the toolbar. Click the Graph Results button in the Solution Progress window after the solver finishes to go to the Graph Results window. If you are unfamiliar with creating graphs in AFT Fathom, you can use the Graph Guide to walk you through the steps. We will use the Graph Guide to create a simple graph. For this model, there is only one type of graph available for a profile plot, where you can see how a parameter changes along a flow path. If you have a pump in your model, you will see a second type appear to create pump and system curves. Click the graph type and follow the steps. Now we've created our first graph. If you would like to change the formatting of the graph, click the Formatting button to change fonts, text sizes, scaling, line styles, and colors. You can also right-click on the chart, axis titles, or names to change those directly. You can toggle graph lines using the checkboxes in the legend. You can also create more than one graph at a time. Click the green plus icon at the bottom right to add a new graph tab. For this graph, we will create a more advanced profile plot to compare static and stagnation pressures. To add a parameter, click the Add button. If you would like to make this parameter part of a secondary y-axis, select the parameter and click the blue arrow pointing to the right to indent the parameter in the list. This designates it as a secondary y-axis parameter. You can also add a secondary y-axis by adding two rows for the same parameter but using a separate set of units. Now we can see that we have two curves plotted on the same graph with a secondary y-axis shown on the right. Instead of a secondary y-axis, you can also create stacked graphs that use a common x-axis. Let's create a stacked graph to include the hydraulic grade line and elevation profile in a separate plot below the pressure profile. We now have two profile plots stacked on top of each other. A pressure profile on top with stagnation pressure on the secondary axis, and a hydraulic grade line and elevation graph displayed on the bottom. Note that it is by design that the graph does not show elevation on the secondary y-axis when plotted with a hydraulic or energy grade line. Now that we have created a quality graph, click the folder with a blue plus sign on the toolbar to save the graph for quick generation later. You can give the graph any name you'd like. You will notice that the borders turned dark green to identify that you have successfully added the graph to the Graph List Manager. The color coding in the Graph List Manager also shows which graph list item and parameters that the plot corresponds to, such as purple for a profile graph. Let's make two quick formatting changes by showing junction location labels by selecting the blue square icon on the toolbar and modifying the x-axis scaling. You will notice that the border changed from dark green to light green to indicate we changed a saved graph list item. To save these changes to the graph list item, click the folder with a green circle and check mark. Note that the graph list items save to the model file. This means that AFT Fathom does not save the new graph list items and changes to existing graph list items until you save the model file. To demonstrate how to use the graph list items to quickly generate saved graphs, We are going to make a quick change to the model, run the model again to get new results, then use the graph list item to generate the graph. Note that with the current model, the hydraulic grade line and elevation at J1 are 50 feet. Now I will go back to the workspace and change the liquid surface elevation of the reservoir to 60 feet and run the model again. On the Graph Results window, you can double-click the graph list item to regenerate the same plot as before, now updated with the new results we just obtained. Note that the hydraulic grade line and the elevation at J1 are now 60 feet, as expected. In summary, the Graph Results window provides easy-to-understand features to create detailed and customizable graphs. You can save these graphs for quick generation later when making updates to your model. Thank you for watching, and feel free to refer to the other topics in our AFT Fathom 13 Quick Start video tutorial series.